Hello, I would like to thank you for your attendance in the audience tonight. I would like to start by personalizing with you all and why this means so much to me. It was the fall of 1989. I was a young kid, and I moved from a rural setting in southeast Georgia, basically farmlands, to a city called Fayetteville, North Carolina. Nothing against Fayetteville, North Carolina, but it caused a reaction into me that was very significant in my thought process. I was very naive to the existence of drugs and crime in America. I could not understand how so many people wanted to use substances that alter their control, but they wanted to use it on a day-to-day basis. What I found was more intriguing was the vast amount of resources dedicated to arresting dealers and users. I thought, well, if they choose that and is a victimless crime, should it even be considered a crime? And I wonder if legalization of drugs would even improve America. I voiced the opinion to several people, including my parents, relatives, and teachers. I received the typical comments: no way, you could never legalize drugs. That's ridiculous. But I have not reached a point where I would pick against legalization. I decided to do some research on my own, and I was quite surprised about what I found. Legalization of drugs has been a long-standing debate amongst politicians, teachers, and scholars. It was in 1971, President Richard Nixon declared the nation would begin a war on drugs. The country would bolster drug control agencies, allocate more funds, combining and improving situations that dealt with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, drug enforcement agencies, narcotics division, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, state and local police officials, to round up low-life criminals and drug users. To me, this appears as a needed cleansing of America's inner cities and communities. On the other hand, this all be public relations stunt to solidify political status. Well, to dawn on that, let's look at history. After all, prohibition is not a new concept by any means. In a policy analysis conducted by the Cato Institute, James Orlowski directly compared alcohol prohibition in the 1920s to the current war on drugs. The results are amazing, to say at the least. They're actually astonishing. Upon implementation, both saw great success. Over the next few years, crimes such as murder, assault, and violent crimes gradually rose to levels that were higher than previous to the implementation. Looking at these facts, it will make one at least open to the discussion of drug legalization. The violence and crime associated with the war on drugs is in plain view, as Dr. Ellen Benoit, a prominent researcher and current principal and investigator of the Institute for Special Population Research, and the Center for Drug Use and HIV Research stated in the article, like the body counts from Vietnam, the numbers from the war on drugs flash the nightly news in an endless litany of defeat. Even more compelling is the financial and economic ramifications. Who pays for the war on drugs? The taxpayer, the common person, the citizen. It is the one that lives within the confines of the law. This argument is well documented. Jeffrey Myron, a prominent advocate for drug legalization and senior lecturer at the Director of Undergraduate Studies at the Department of Economics at Harvard, argues that the cost involved in drug prohibition actually drives the drug trade and increases profits to the cartels and to the dealers. Without the presence of regulation and taxation, the illegal drug trade increases to rise and to draw interest, while the economy and the common people, such as myself and yourself, we suffer the blow. I find it to be a rather startling point, yet it is the truth when you think about it. Why do so many people choose to sell drugs instead of working a regular job? Could it be due to avoiding taxes, instant wealth? Further evidence is provided after a reading of an older article. It was a 1999 article. It was titled Drug Peace Legalization Research. It was written by John McNamara in 1999. In his article, Mr. McNamara gives an in-depth view on how preventing illegal drug use is actually providing a growth for federal spending on drug control. That fact is backed up by statistics and cannot be ignored. He states one indicator of the difficulties inherent in preventing illegal drug use is the growth of federal spending on drug control, and gives significant numbers to back up those claims. We have issue with the national budget, Social Security, healthcare, and the list goes on. This is definitely, in my opinion, an option an issue that needs to be addressed. I have taken I think, an objective approach to the facts that stand prevalent. If all the preceding facts are there, why are we not legalize drugs? Simple answer is, honestly, it's really not that simple. There was an article written by an author named Roger Richards titled "A Failure to Succeed to the Drug Dealers Would Amount," the title was "A Mockery in the Legalization of Drugs," where he states that a failure to succeed to drug dealers would amount to letting criminals walk free. Appropriate for society and drugs such as crack cocaine, heroin, crystal meth will be appropriate for society, and such drugs would be viewed in the same light as having a beer after lunch. But let me ask you this. How would you feel if your kid's bus driver was a regular user of crack cocaine because it's legal? Or your doctor in his free time, or his or her free time, likes to indulge in heroin? Would this be accepted into society? Absolutely not. So where do we draw the common ground? Where is the balance? That's what we're looking for today. After weighing the pros and cons, I would lean towards drug legalization, but maybe not total drug legalization, but in a little less restricted way in the views we have today, or the policies we have in effect for today. I would say that we have grown a long time from the days of the fear of drugs, and if anyone remembers, there was a movie back in the 70s called Reefer Madness, when everyone believed that marijuana made everyone go crazy. And maybe it's not that serious, but in the same term, drugs do hurt a lot of people and do affect a lot of lives. And those, I'm speaking specifically to those illegal drugs that are legal now today. I believe that the best course of action would be to take a hard look at the current policies and revive them. Maybe some common ground could be gained, and we could actually improve America through understanding and proper adjustment to our current policies and rules. Thank you.